This channel is actually for an original voice acted manga that I'm creating, but it's taking a while, so I'll do anime reviews and maybe a few movie reviews on the side, and here we go. Yu Yu Hakusho is great. That's an understatement. The battle tournament genre was the old day version of today's isekai. But what Yu Yu Hakusho did was include realism into it. The Dark Tournament arc is just that, an arc. It's not the entirety of the story. It wasn't even a power fantasy. Heck, the most prominent thing about the Dark Tournament was how their enemies repeatedly screws them over to place them at a disadvantage. They were in a world where everything around was against them, a world that just wanted them all dead. This was the show that told me, yeah, the world's gonna screw you over. I know some would argue that Sensui's story is a better example of that, but his story kind of flew over my head when I was a kid. I wasn't very invested in Yusuke. I was more into Kurama and Hiei. Yusuke was just too arrogant for my liking. I always wanted to be cool like Kurama and Hiei. I wanted friends like them. Plus, Yusuke was developed last, in my opinion. I'm not quite sure if Kawabara was developed all that much, really. We got to know more about Hiei when his sister was introduced. We got to know Kurama stealing artifacts to try and save his mother. There were personal stakes for these characters from the start. So, Yusuke kind of paled in comparison. But then they introduced Ryzen. Ah, Ryzen. The first shonen father I've met. And then he died. Yusuke died because he saved a kid. That's the first episode of the story. Ryzen died because he fell in love with a human woman and refused to eat humans afterwards. An asshole died saving a kid. A demon king died because he chose love. Poetic, isn't it? When I got a bit older and rewatched it, it re-aired several times here in my country, I understood the first episode more. When Yusuke died, he didn't cry for himself. He didn't even expect anyone to care to the point that he didn't want to see the people at his funeral because they'd probably just be out there out of formality. But maybe he wanted to be wrong. I mean, who wants to be forgotten? Who wants to know that no one really cared? Shaman King. Yo is the chillest shonen protagonist I have ever known. But in this list, he's actually the only one who doesn't really enjoy fighting. A shonen protagonist who's not really aiming to be the strongest or is looking for a good fight. Imagine that. I felt like I was friends with Yo as a kid. I identified with him. I just wanted to chill and do my own thing. Yo didn't even want to be the Shaman King. He didn't want to fight people that hasn't really done anything wrong, but he had to. I like how the protagonist never looks at their spirit partners as weapons. They were always friends from the start. Bleach had this too, but apart from Ichigo, the other Shinigamis came to that realization near the end of the manga, I think. Maybe it's common now with new animes, but Yo was the first guy to be both chill and badass that I remember. He never came off as smug. He's one of the most likable person in all of anime. A live and let live kind of guy with the strength to protect what he loves. This anime also had one of the best couples. Anna's training regime and punishments when he skips out is actually a testament to how much he cares about Yo. Anna knew that Yo can't escape his destiny and his fate is tied with Hal. So she does everything to prepare him for it. They're two ends of a spectrum. Anna is too uptight and needs to relax a bit, while Yo really needs to take things a bit more seriously. I'm not sure if this is correct, but when I was watching this as a kid, I was wondering if Yo really wanted Anna to be his wife. It's an arranged marriage after all. The subtle looks Anna gives Yo is kinda indicative that she really does care about him. But Yo is such a carefree guy who likes almost everyone that it's hard to tell what was on his mind for most of the series. Shaman King was the show about friendship for me. I wouldn't mind entire episodes without Yo fighting and just enjoy it. I don't remember seeing anything that deep in the show, but it really taught me to, well, respect the dead, which complemented my upbringing. I was a serious kid growing up. I'm not really sure why, so having a nonchalant guy was refreshing. Maybe we could all relax a bit more. Dragon Ball Z. Like with many others, I wanted to be a Super Saiyan. Every kid my age screamed to the top of their lungs just to get their hair golden and their eyes blue green. What's interesting about DBZ is that as many fans as Goku has, Vegeta takes the cake. From when I was a kid up until now, there are more people watching DBZ and Super for Vegeta instead of Goku. You can point all that's wrong with how DBZ is written on a writer's perspective, but when I was a kid, people watched the show because it's about courage and perseverance. And punching faster than the speed of light, of course. On the surface, it was all about strength, but what got me hooked into it is the concept that every time they fell, every time Saiyans are beaten to near death, they come back stronger. I used to think about it every time I get a bad grade at school, and even now where I'm facing more future oriented problems. Life will bring you down, and as much as we would like it to be a hit that we're gonna see coming from a mile away, it's not. It's a slow burn, small hits that pile up until you break. Which is why I love the Saiyan Prince. Vegeta has always pushed himself above and beyond where Goku is appearing more and more gifted with Ultra Instinct and all. Vegeta had to find his own strength and his own way of achieving it, his own methods, his own convictions. Pass or fail, Vegeta bears it all. And every time he fell, every time he was defeated, he felt inadequate. And I think that's something we can all learn. We will fail, repeatedly. We will fail even if we do nothing wrong, even if we give it 100%. Maybe you're at the bottom of the well right now. Maybe the ceiling is a speck in your vision for how far it is. But think like Vegeta and say, what? Is that it?